You didn't see that. Naoki Yoshida, better known as Yoshi-P, has reassured fans that he's not done with Final Fantasy XIV yet. And he's not bored of working on it either. Final Fantasy XIV has been going through a tumultuous year ever since that expansion, which shall not be named, with that character who shall not be named, who ruined the game, who shall not be named. But Yoshi-P is definitely a legend at Square Enix. The man has single-handedly brought the company was on the brink. I mean, they had so many flops over the last 5 or 6 years, and one of the rare shining beacons has been Final Fantasy XIV. Has been consistently good until recently. But Yoshi-P's like, he's not done. People are worried that he may be moving on, or he may be getting bored with the game, but he has said this at PAX West. He says, people tend to say we're creators or creative, but I'm an employee at Square Enix and I receive money to make games. And I think my primary purpose is to make games so that we are delivering it to gamers out there, fans, players that want to consume our product. I think that is fundamental, or a minimum requirement that I have, because I belong to this company. I belong to them. He described himself as more of a businessman than one of the creatives. He says he explained that he can't get bored with working on the project because there's still much more he wants to add to the game, which launched in 2010. Man, it's been that long. We relaunched under his guidance in 2013. I don't think so. There are a lot of things that I've yet to actualize in 14, things that I want to do, things that I must do, things that require to be taken care of, he said. Also, I think that at least for a good while, I should be okay. And it's that while he added, while also jokingly he wants to do less in the way of management or operational things and help more with game development design. Yeah, I think Yoshi-P knows that his time with Final Fantasy XIV is limited, and he wants to get the most out of it as possible. So I think he's more of on a time crunch. He's like, I need to do all this stuff within the next few years, because, you know, after X amount of years, who knows if the game's even going to be, if Square Enix can even have enough money to let me do what I need to do, because, you know, he's in the day-to-day business stuff, so he knows the numbers. So it kind of feels like a time crunch. He's like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. We gotta take this story to the next Endwalker, you know. But personally, I'll say this: I have lost a tremendous amount of interest in Final Fantasy XIV over the years, but that doesn't necessarily take away from the game, because, like you read here, that it's been out since 2010, and then it was rebirthed in 2013. Here we are in 2025. So if a game's still keeping my attention after 12 years, then that's kind of a, in this day and age, that's a rarity. You got games like League of Legends, you got World of Warcraft, you got Counter-Strike, which have this death grip on people, seemingly, because people just that's all they play. They don't play anything else. And we're seeing more and more of these forever games come out that people are planning to play for the rest of their lives if possible. But those are rarities. They're not common. And I think we shouldn't feel bad if a game has run its course, right? Because these days gamers are so tribal, they're so territorial, that they identify with the games that they play. That's their identity. They don't have any kind of self-definition other than a video game. So when that game is threatened, you see gamers get insecure. That's why they get so defensive, because it's a part of them. I think that's taking it way too far. I mean, they're video games. It's just games, man. It's entertainment. And I think Yoshi-P is kind of he's in a unique situation that he is not necessarily self-identified with Final Fantasy XIV, but he will be forever coupled with Final Fantasy XIV. He's the man who saved this game from death. It was on the brink of going under. Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 was a total disaster by all metrics. And Yoshi-P stepped in, not only saved 1.0, brought 1.0 back to life, because the game was on its way up. But it's like, if we want to take this game where we want to go, we got to rewrite everything. So they did 2.0, which was A Realm Reborn, and the rest is history, right? One of those Cinderella stories that we like to hear about, like No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy 14, all these games that were pretty much destroyed at launch, but managed to find their ways into the hearts and minds of gamers. But he is in a unique situation in that he is externally identified with Final Fantasy 14. So not only does he feel obligated to his employer, which he says owns him, one of the quotes in there is that he's owned by Square Enix, but I think he feels a sense of duty and obligation to the players because so many players look to him in some weird ways. Honestly, they look at him as like a father figure for some reason. Like Yoshi-P, whatever he says is gospel and all these other things. And I really think gamers ought to be careful, man. We can't put these people, we can't idolize these game developers because they're gonna make mistakes. Look what happened with Dawn Trail. They're gonna make mistakes. Dawn Trail was not the best. I mean, they were batting 1,000 leading up to Dawn Trail. Shadowbringers, Endwalker, you know, all Stormblood, all these different expansions came out and they were just boom, 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 so good, so good, so good. And then Dawn Trail came out, and I think it was, to me, it was the worst expansion they came out with, including 2.0. So they're gonna make mistakes, and so that's why so many people get emotional and they get all hot and bothered when a developer makes a mistake or produces something that's not as good as they should have. And gamers like to talk with their money, so these companies, they look at how the gamers react emotionally and they get concerned because if the gamers are mad emotionally, they're not gonna buy any more stuff. So they cater to our emotions. And it's a really dangerous world to be in right now. But I really hope Yoshi-P doesn't burn himself out. The man has been known to be a workaholic. Everybody talks about it, how he just doesn't sleeps 2 to 4 hours a night and just is constantly working. And I think he's 1 or 2 years older than me. He's up there in age, and I know with my health, I have to be careful. I can't do what I used to do. You know, I got to take care of myself. And so Yoshi-P's the same way, man. The man's got to take care of himself if he wants to live another 50 years, you know? So, it's really, really concerning because I really like the guy. He's just a nice dude. And he thinks a lot like me in a lot of ways. And he really isn't solely responsible for the success of Final Fantasy 14. Now, there's a great deal of brilliant people that are brilliant and just geniuses that he is working with. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people like that at Square Enix as a whole. But as you know, in video games, a lot of what happens is dictated by the captain of the ship. You know, the ship's captain is what determines the destination. And so a lot of times you can have all the talent in the world, but they can be led into an iceberg if not properly steered. So the man he's a genius. He's definitely a genius, but they got some talented people there at Square Enix. I mean, really, really talented. They got the cream of the crop over there. So he's not going anywhere. Yeah, but time's running out. I think we can't. A lot of live service games has us thinking in the forever terms, like this game's never going away, or we don't want games to ever go away, or you know, we need to make sure that we can play this game forever. But you got to remember, man, it is a video game. It is entertainment. And yeah, there's some consumer rights there involved that if you buy a game, they shouldn't take it away. I understand that. But we got gaming on a pedestal of like borderline idolatry, and it's like we've got to calm it down, man. It's just entertainment. It's a hobby. It's something you do when you got time, and you know, just to cool down and wind down and stuff. You know, some people like to carve, some people like to knit, some people like to birdwatch. I happen to like to play video games, but it's not my entire being in life. You know, I do it several hours a day, but it's not my everything. So Yoshi-P, for real, I'm saying all that just to say that this man, he lives and breathes Final Fantasy. So I hope for his sake that he doesn't kill himself, for lack of a better word. I'm talking about killing him slowly, not like, you know, the other word. But like, I hope he doesn't just like destroy his health trying to keep people happy, because it's a video game at the end of the day. He's passionate about it. There's passion, and then there's insanity. Check it out. Over on this site, what is it, Tech Radar? Over on Tech Radar, Yoshi-P says that he's not done with Final Fantasy. He's not bored of working on it either. But I really, really, really hope that the man doesn't destroy himself in the process of doing that. And so he can continue to make other games, because I think he can be very valuable in the Dragon Quest part of over there, and just a lot of other games that I think he could benefit, or he can be made of use. I don't know what I'm saying. Check it out.